this introductory word processing video looking at text editing. All word processors utilize a feature called insert mode. What this means is that I can click anywhere in an existing document and type new text in. Whatever is already on that line will push over to the right, and if necessary, wrap to the next line to accommodate the new characters coming in. As an example, I want to add the word create in front of the word edit. So I'm just going to click my mouse in front of or to the right of where my text is going. You'll notice the insertion point is now in that location, and that's really important. The position of the I-beam does not indicate where your text is going to be added. It's the insertion point that does that. So now I'm just going to type my new text in, and as you can see, the words and print automatically wrap to the next line. Deleting or removing text from a document can be done a couple of different ways. On our keyboards, we have the backspace and the delete key. The difference between them is the direction that the characters are removed when these keys are hit. So if I wanted to take out the phrase store it electronically, I would click my mouse at the end of the text because I want to use the backspace key. So as you can see, every time I press backspace, one letter or one character is removed. The delete key works the opposite way. I'm just going to click in front of or. Every time I press delete, one letter is removed from that sentence. Delete and backspace are great for correcting a couple letters or typing mistakes that you've made. But if you had more text to remove, you'll find selecting is a much faster process. So I will choose this phrase, display it on the screen. Now, if I just want to remove it and not substitute anything in its place, I can hit either delete or backspace and it's gone. If I wanted to substitute text, let's say I want to change the word commands to instructions, I double click to highlight that word. I'm not going to delete it and then retype. I'm just going to type right on top of that text. So typing replaces selection, lets you make a quick substitution, or you can use the mouse to simply highlight and permanently remove any information by pressing delete or backspace. If you change your mind and decide that you don't want the most recent changes to stay in place, you can use your undo command. Now, undo is found in the quick launch bar in the upper left corner of your title bar. As I click undo one time, the most recent change will be reversed. Now, what will sometimes happen is that if you've deleted a lot of text, it will undo the deletion one character at a time. So a faster way of using the undo is to click on this drop arrow just to the right of it. And now I can see I've removed a number of letters. So rather than undo them one by one, I'm going to click on the last clear, and now that text is added back to my file. There is one unique feature about undo to keep in mind, and that's that you can't randomly undo one change. So if I decide I only want to cancel typing the word create, you'll notice that all of the tasks I did since that or after that addition will also be undone. So sometimes you just need to manually replace or fix your text as you go along. A text editing feature that most of us take advantage of is spell check. Spell check is designed to point out and correct spelling errors as well as grammatical errors in a document. I've got some extra text here that has quite a few mistakes in it, as you can see. I'm just going to increase the zoom so it's a little easier to read. Anything underlined red is considered a spelling mistake. Words or phrases with a green or a blue underline are grammatical errors according to Word. In older versions of Word, grammatical errors were highlighted green. I'm using 2016, and as you can see, they're highlighted blue. Couple ways of running spell check. One of them involves using your mouse from your document screen. So what I can do is position my mouse on a spelling error. When I click my right mouse button one time, a quick spell check menu pops up. So up at the top, I have a list of words that Microsoft thinks I meant to type. If one of those words is correct, I would simply left click on it and the change would be made. I would then find the next error, right click, and repeat the process. You will see options to ignore the selected word. So if it's a unique term or a surname that will appear regularly in your documents, you can ignore it for this particular file, or if you want to do something longer term, you can add it to the system dictionary, which will bypass it in all future documents. I'm just going to make this quick correction, and I would repeat the process, just right-clicking on wherever I found the highlighted words. Because I have so many mistakes, I'm going to use the spell check dialog box. It's just faster because Microsoft highlights and finds each error throughout the text. So I do that by clicking on my Review tab, and the first button in the ribbon is Spelling and Grammar. The first error the system has found is a grammatical error, and it's explaining to me what the error is. So it's saying that there should only be one space between these two words. If I agree, I will change that word and the system will then move on to the next word. So here I have a surname that the dictionary does not recognize. This is where using the ignore or add buttons will be useful. If this same name was repeated multiple times in my file, I would choose ignore all. I'm just going to do ignore once because that's the only time it appears. So now it's saying I have a spacing error again, and I can change and move on to the next one. So word should have been word. So the options I have for regular spelling mistakes are the same as I was looking at with my right click, with my quick spell check. I have a grammar error, there's no explanation, so I'd have to go back to my document, read the sentence to make sure that the suggested replacement is in fact correct. It is important to check as you go along. Don't just randomly click on spell check. So this is a double word or repeated word, so I'm just going to delete the second version of that. Mistakes. Okay, change that. Now in this case, Word is showing me an incorrect option. The word in my document should read called documents, but because my error started SC, the suggested words are only SC. So when I need to correct my document, I could just simply go back into the file, use my backspace key to correct the text. Now that I've made the correction, I would resume spell check and we'll continue on from where I was. It can either be, so this should be blank, not blanket. The double word again, delete that. Again, I typed in THO, the word really should be how. Suggestions are not appropriate, so I'm just going to double click in my document and retype the correct text. I'm going to resume spell check, and I have a spacing grammatical error again. I'm going to change that, and in theory, I am almost done. It doesn't like the capital letter of the word Yule because it is followed by a comma. So again, I can change it, or if for some reason you want the word to remain as it's typed in the document, you would ignore that error. So I'll just do a change, and we're back to my surname, so we'll ignore that, and spelling and grammar is done. Word of warning though, spell check cannot find or will not find misused words in a document. So if we look at this second sentence, a new document can be created by pressing Control N or by cling, okay, the blue file tab and choosing Newt. Okay, all wrong on so many levels. So in this case, I have to correct my text manually. Spell check is great for correcting obvious errors, but it's critical that users read through their document after spell check is done to make sure that the text reads the way they want it to, and you don't have a number of misused words in your file. That's a look at basic text editing. Thank you for watching this video.